And a very good morning. It's Mark here. It is February the 3rd, going on 8 a.m. Eastern, which is just before 1 p.m. GMT, start of a new trading week, and certainly a lot to cover. Going back to last week, the US dollar closed the week slightly higher, showing a little bit of strength. However, look at the gap up to start this week from a close of 108.33 to an open of 109.51. A huge gap up in the US dollar. Trump's tariff trade war and his threat of tariffs, which comes into effect tomorrow with Canada, with Mexico, with China, has all contributed to a strong US dollar at this point, and sitting right now at that 109 level. 109, I think, could be pivotal in today's trading activity in the US dollar, but bear in mind what we have seen or become accustomed to is the turnaround once the US enters the market. We've seen during the Asian and the better part of the European session, we've seen trends develop only to be reversed, only to be turned around once the US enters the market. And the US is entering the market now in a short while, in about 15 minutes' time. What we're going to look for is the gap up which we saw in the US dollar, is that going to continue, or this small retracement that we've seen since the start, since the open at 109.51, it's now come down to 109. I think that 109 is going to be pivotal. So we must watch to see whether US dollar strength continues, or if we do see a turnaround and this short retracement turn into something which takes us closer to last week's close at 108.43. But certainly a big market, a big move over the weekend and to start this week's trading. I'm going to the S&P 500. And there we see the big gap down from the close last week at 6,068 and opened this week for this week's trading at 5,963. Bear in mind, this is pre-market opening. So Wall Street will get going in about an hour and a half. But we have seen in Europe, we've seen the major indices also open up very weak, and the sell-off to start the European trading week. Pre-market US, that's the pattern that we're seeing. Testing support at 5,950, you can see that. And again, when Wall Street opens, are we going to see a continuation of this big sell-off or a reversal? Strong inverse relationship really playing out here in the gap up over the weekend in pre-market trading, with US dollar strengthening before the open and the S&P weakening. And the level to look for here, I believe, will be the 6,000 level, that pivotal level. And if buyers are able to fight back from this pre-market sell-off, will they be able to get back to the 6,000 and over? Or is the sell-off going to continue and might well be the US dollar, which is the impetus for a move in either direction, and we'll look to see whether the inverse relationship continues. Let's have a look at gold. Interesting that gold is not being part of that inverse relationship with a strong US dollar and weakening at all. If anything, the demand for gold, we're seeing that demand for gold, in no small part due to its safe haven status with the erratic behavior that's going on, is definitely still there. The demand is there, even at 2,800, and buyers, I have no doubt, looking up at Friday's resistance of 2,816. So gold to start the week, again, very strong, and the strong uptrend still in play. Brent oil has started the week strong. Have a look at this, the third day of higher highs, higher lows, broken above the 76 level. closed last week at 76.36, continued above that break above 76, and now looking to test $77. Third straight day I'm seeing here of higher highs and higher lows, looking at $77 level for now. We've got geopolitical events, we've got the trade wars. Will this lead to a supply issue, which would add to the bar that we see now in the strength? Again, let's see how this plays out and how this develops once the US session gets started. And then we've got Bitcoin, fourth day of a big sell-off already today. Already today, a $6,000 range from an open of 97.8 all the way down already to 91,200. Buyers did step in, as we've seen so often throughout this from middle of December, where buyers have stepped in at that 91, 92,000 level. It happened again now to start off February, and all the way from down here at 91,000, they've already fought back to sit at 95,000. Buyers will be looking above this now to continue this early fight back that we've seen sitting at 95. I have no doubt buyers will be looking to get back up to that 100 level, whereas sellers will want to see if selling continues, can they eventually get to a close below 92.5, come down and test this 88,000. Lots of volatility, lots to watch out for. US session almost underway. Stock market, Wall Street opening up in about an hour and a half. Good trading. Let's keep that discipline today. And remember, give the market room to breathe. Good trading, guys. I will see you at the end of the day.